What's up, everybody? Damon here, and in today's gaming news, Microsoft and Nintendo just made it official for the next 10 years. A creative director on the Avengers game is apologizing for it, and it's all presented by The Consultant, premiering February 24th only on Prime. Microsoft President Brad Smith has confirmed the company has locked in a 10-year agreement to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo device owners the same day as Xbox, apparently with full feature and content parity. Smith noted this new agreement is, quote, just part of Microsoft's commitment to bring Xbox games and Activision titles like Call of Duty to more players on more platforms. Translation, please let this acquisition go through. We promise to play nice. Under the contract, Nintendo owners will be able to experience Call of Duty just as Xbox and PlayStation gamers enjoy Call of Duty, according to Microsoft. Call of Duty has not been available on a Nintendo platform since 2013's Call of Duty Ghosts for Wii U. Now, what does this mean? Obviously, the Nintendo Switch is much less powerful than the Xbox Series X and S. How is it going to run future Call of Duties just as they do on Xbox and PlayStation? Well, one option is to stream the games to the Switch, something other big games like Hitman 3, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Resident Evil Village do. But I don't know if you've ever streamed a big AAA game to your Switch. Let's just say results may vary. I don't think streaming a super fast-paced game like a Call of Duty on Nintendo's 6-year-old console will be the ideal way to play. Remember, the file sizes for those games regularly push 100 gigs. Maybe Nintendo has given Xbox the heads up that a more powerful Switch is on the way. This is just my speculation, but that would make more sense to me. It just doesn't seem feasible to rely on streaming future Call of Duties to the aging Switch hardware. In any case, the Microsoft and Activision deal still needs to go through, something many governmental and business organizations like PlayStation are trying to make difficult. Moving on, Virtosu Cezar, a former creative director at Virtuos, which helped develop Marvel's Avengers, has apologized for how the game turned out and cited a challenging production for it not becoming what it could have been. By the way, as far as I can tell, it's just a coincidence that his name is so similar to the studio he worked for. Speaking to Edge magazine, Cezar didn't go into much detail about the problems that led to Avengers' disappointing reception, but he apologized for it nonetheless. He said, "It was a challenging production, let's say. I apologize for that." Now, I'm not sure why he feels the need to apologize, considering Crystal Dynamics was the primary developer on Avengers, unless the support studio, Virtuos, was the one gumming up the works? Unclear. Cezar left Virtuos in 2020, the year Avengers was released, and is now working on the Lords of the Fallen, the reboot of 2014's Lords of the Fallen. As for Marvel's Avengers, active development has ended for the live service game, and support will be discontinued on September 30th. It will also no longer be available to purchase. Hopefully Marvel's upcoming games, including Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, and Skydance New Media's upcoming games set in a World War II-era Paris, starring Captain America and Black Panther, fare better. Finally, Prime's The Consultant premieres on February 24th and stars Christoph Waltz as a terrifying boss for an LA-based video game company after the previous CEO is mysteriously replaced. Video games happen to be full of terrifying bosses to fight and defeat, so we asked some of our IGN staff about the toughest bosses they've encountered in their video game adventures.
From Software is no stranger to making tough bosses, especially with their Souls games throughout history. But the latest title to enter their list introduced the most horrifyingly difficult boss who could lifesteal. Elden Ring's optional, but not really optional if you truly wanted to beat the game, Boss Millennia is the toughest boss I've faced in gaming because every time she hits you, she gets some of her health back.
Heed my words. I am Millennia, Blade of Mikola. And I have never known defeat.
While the stage for her battle is incredible with gorgeous music and visuals, Millennia is the most frustrating challenge I've faced. Her moveset is insultingly fast, and she has an almost impossible move called the Waterfall Dance, where her flurry of katana hits grants her nearly half her health back if you're not able to dodge this, which, by the way, 90% of the time you can't. On top of that, she also has a second phase. A lot of players who faced her for the first time thought once they bashed her down, she was finally defeated. But to their horror and mine, she would burst out in this flash of orange as she would transform and her health bar would reappear. Even though she's not back up to full health here, she can still lifesteal. So by this time, most players have already used their healing resources. The Elden Ring community came together though to defeat this evil creation, and there was even a major hero standout, Let Me Solo Her, who would help players when summoned by doing exactly what his name suggested, soloing her. Millennia was the hardest boss I've fought in a From Software game, but she was also by far the most rewarding to defeat.
I wonder what tomorrow's boss will be. Let us know your predictions in the comments below. You know what would make that boss even more tough? If they were played by Academy Award-winning actor Christoph Waltz. Make sure to check out Prime's The Consultant, premiering February 24th, only on Prime. And that is your Daily Fix for Tuesday, February 21st. Coming up later this week, we've got the first Sony State of Play of the year. Catch it all on IGN this Thursday, February 23rd at 1 p.m. Pacific. Until then, I'm Damon Hadfield, and for all your gaming news, stay tuned to IGN.